It was so raw and beautiful. And, I think it almost didn't even matter a lot of the time for some of the other supporting characters, whether they had relevance or not, because this one was for me, it was all about Black Adam. So I didn't have the question about who's the star of this film. Absolutely no concern about that whatsoever. He is the star. He's the first thing, I think one of the first things I saw and the last thing that was on my mind in the film. So I certainly think it's very interesting to think about it that way. I was not expecting this experience in Black Adam, and it feels really good.
Okay, so 3 questions. Because there are 2 of you that have seen this film now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so question 1. Does this mean that this is a franchise character that is going to carry multiple films, or is this a one-off?
Franchise.
I think he can carry multiple. He's so strong, Culture. He has so much presence in this film. He's not going away. He's not a one and done. He's sticking around. He's powerful. He has, a certain level of steadiness to him. You can't just push him aside. You can't, pretend like this character doesn't exist now. He's here to stay. I feel like he's going to redefine, and we need things to be redefined because things haven't been going well. Things have been somewhat, stagnant, and the water isn't moving. Nothing is flowing. Now it feels like a reinvigoration. It feels like when The Rock would have those, you could go ahead and put on your phone, and he would say, "Come on, you can do this." This is what this film feels like. It feels like he's kind of reinvigorating things, and why not? Because he's in the best shape of his life. He looks fantastic. He knows it. He knows he has the ability to get things going again. And I'm sure he feels the same way we do, and how stale things have become and how unsatisfying things are. He's going to get us all those things we want, I think. And this may be the vehicle, if not other ways, but I think that this is a great start to it.
Yeah, and to add to that, ignoring the physicality of The Rock for a moment, in terms of what this movie does to the DC universe, whether this is a one-off or this is a franchise. Oh, this is definitely a franchise, because what happened here is that the DC just has a new Superman thrust into it. And a Superman who likes to kill and who is a volatile, loose cannon, but he has the powers of Superman, so he can't be stopped.
Yeah, you can't tell him
possibly
shit.
Someone other than Superman, and
Yes.
Can even he stop him? So yeah, this actually it is a huge change of status quo in the DC universe. And now I hadn't thought about that until you said it right now. But I do believe that's probably why David Zaslav decided that this movie right here, this is the one that we are not going to do too much with. We're going to remove the overt wokeness. We're going to remove the political commentary, and we're going to re-edit it to bring out the fun, because I've heard now that's what they did with it. If this movie had come out this summer, the way it was filmed and originally intended, it wouldn't have been as fun as it is right now. What they did here, this movie is 2 hours long already, but they removed the boring parts. They removed the drama bits and only focused on the fun stuff. But what you're left with here, and I don't blame Zaslav for being excited about this, because this is a massive, change in status quo for the DC universe. Because now there's a new player in town, and it's a power player.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that maybe this was what they needed to do, because they've been giving us somewhat complicated and meaningless storylines for a little while now. We kept getting these explanations about why this is happening, why that is happening, and we're all kind of exhausted by the nonsense. We don't get any nonsense in this film. It's a simple situation. He's there. And as you said, Andre, you can't convince Black Adam to make a left or a right. He's going to go the way he wants to. And I think maybe it's kind of a protest against a lot of things we've been seeing where people are kind of bending the knee. I think that this film is more of he's going to live his life and, just do what he feels is right for him. And it's kind of refreshing to see that. I don't think he cares what anyone else thinks. And I, as a woman, like to see a strong superhero on the screen. So it feels good to see that once again. And I do like, characters that have their own mind.
How did the audience like the film?
In my theater, they loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There
Same
might
in
be more here than
my
meets the eye.
theater. Norwegians are dead inside, and they are generally not too cheerful or anything like that in the theater. Like, there's not much you can feel from Norwegians in most cases in movies.
Like a
But I
Vancouver
heard
audience.
like three people laughing out loud over the course of this movie, and they were laughing with the movie and not at it. I mean, that's a crowd. I mean, that's the audience freaking loving it. So the vibe that I got from my screening, which was 1/3 full, this was a Thursday preview screening, so like doesn't really bode well for the weekend as a whole. But I got the gist that the audience there enjoyed it as much as me.
Yes, in culture, I do want to add something else to what you were talking about, how it fits into the franchise. And Andre obviously made some excellent points, but I heard people in the theater talking about what's going to happen next. They're excited about this now. You know, they want to know what the next step is. And they were saying, well, this is what's probably going to happen. And, you know, there was a level of intrigue and interest hearing everybody speak in the theater, you know, of course, waiting for that final scene, end credit scene, but also when the film, people stayed, talked, and then as they were exiting the theater, because I was with my mom, so I have to wait for everybody to go out, but I could hear them talking, and that level of enthusiasm, it was great to hear that again. So that also added to the enjoyment of it all.
Okay, well, the second question, I think you've answered just because you went for 15 minutes without taking a breath. But would you pay again to see this film at full price?
I would.
Okay. Andre?
I generally never go see movies more than once in theaters. I would have to have a especially good time for me to do that. I would in this case, yeah. I'd be happy to see this one a second time in theaters. I had that much fun with it.
Tom, I think you need to package Rrrm's contribution to this, her entire video contribution to this particular movie, to Black Adam, and send it to DC, and then have them package that into a promo. I have not heard such excitement and about a project in years. And I love your energy on this. I think
thank you.
I think it's catchy. I wasn't going to go see this in the theater, but I think because of you, I'm going to go see it in the theater now.
Yeah,
you should.
But I agree. Like, I'm, as those of you who saw me at the Live with Mr. H reviews and then Midnight's Edge After Dark, maybe my expectations were so low that I was really blown away. But this is I've really only had loads of fun in 2 movies this year. And that was Top Gun Maverick and it's Black Adam. Now, of the two, Top Gun is obviously the vastly superior movie. Like, let there be absolutely no denying that. Top Gun beats Black Adam at everything, apart from fun and sheer delight. And this movie was just a sheer delight to see.
My wife will go to any movie with Pierce Brosnan in it.
Yeah, he's in here too. That was brilliant. That way you get Chato to go and bring his wife as well.
We've got a deal that if he shows up at the door, that she can go with him.
She's giving her a hall pass. Is that it?
I'm giving
brilliant casting then.
But you know something, and I'm sorry, Andre, I did want to say that Pierce Brosnan is a class act in this. He has never lost any of his charm and appeal. He is a silver fox. He's incredibly sexy in this film, but in an understated way.
When isn't he? When isn't he?
Well, you know,
even I find him sexy.
Putting on a mask, you know, that kind of covers up a man who's very attractive. I want to see the man, right? So there is that. But then he had this voice, this guiding voice, Andre, which I'm sure you remember hearing in the film. He plays sort of a guide at a sense, and hearing his calmness was the perfect balance to, let's say, the unleashed aggression and vigor of Black Adam. So I think that in itself was also a very interesting balance in the film.
I will say though that he has a magnificent presence, but I think he was written to be a bit dumb, which was kind of like necessary to create a conflict between the people who are supposed to be the heroes of the movie and Black Adam. And the way that they achieve this is basically you have the heroes. This is very mild spoiler here, but the heroes, they go to, let's just say that they want to go and figure out what is up with Black Adam and have him come with them. And in this situation, maybe some kind of tact would be required. They know that this is someone who woke up from literally 5,000 years ago. So you're kind of like dealing with the first contact in Star Trek. And diplomacy should be of the essence here. And during their very first interaction, Pierce Brosnan's character, however his presence is, he wasn't very tactful and he wasn't very diplomatic. In fact, none of the heroes were, which was necessary to create that conflict with Black Adam. But they did come across as relatively stupid, which did serve the movie very well. It served Black Adam very well. Don't know that it served the heroes and how they will be perceived all that well, but you can't have everything.
All we know for sure is that after 5,000 years, Rock will not have had bad head.
Well, you know something, Andre, you make a good point, because I was not as impressed by the other characters, and that's okay because the rest of the film seemed to carry it. And I think that sometimes when you don't have stronger superheroes, or maybe they're just starting out as superheroes, I don't know what the story is with them, but it didn't matter. They almost as if they weren't even in the film. I don't think it would have made a difference for me. So I don't know what their plans are with those characters, but except for the two younger characters I'm talking about, but not the other gentleman with the wings. So, but to be honest with you, Andre,
so the two secondary characters are inconsequential in the film, and you're saying that's
kind
a positive?
of, yeah.
Yes,
that's not a positive though. That's actually
they
kind
are
of bad.
I mean, you could cut them from the whole movie and it wouldn't really matter. They're just there along for the ride.
Agreed.
And for some chief laughs and some giggles along the way. And so, and you have to remember though, this is like, you can tell exactly why those characters were there. They're left over from the previous administration, where they decided, okay, we need to bring in some young adults here. We need to bring in the girls. So we're going to bring in Noah Centineo just to get his demographic in here of fangirls. And then we're going to bring in this other girl that he can fawn over for representation purposes, and bring in like a more, or like that's obviously why they were there. They didn't really contribute to the movie, and they're both like on their first mission. They're trainees. They make that point relatively clear. Now, why you would send them to apprehend Black Adam, that of course is a different matter, which only goes to show that Amanda Waller mayhaps isn't the best of leader, but that's kind of like in character. What was it before? Yes.
Oh no, Amanda Waller is an evil politician and also an incompetent woman. I love
Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Now you have to say that DC has the worst secondary and tertiary superheroes compared to Marvel. They've got the top tier.
They don't have deep of a
no, they actually have a lot more superheroes than Marvel.
They have a lot more.
As far as well known, no.
Well known,
just because of X-Men alone, that really like dwarfs. Like that's a problem.
The beauty that they have, though, is that they have like so many weird, obscure characters. In fact, both Marvel and DC has this, which means when you come to like movies,
for sure,
there are so many characters that you can mine for like comedy purposes, and that's kind of what they do here. Although I think it was done better in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
If only they could have done that on She-Hulk.
That would have been something.
Third question, right? So because I had three.
Yeah, go for it.
Third question.
Get to the third question.
I'm trying. So in light of this film and in light of what's coming next, do you think that this is that they're going to sputter and maybe not bring in the audience into the second franchise film here, regardless of Cavill's presence? Because you have The Flash coming up, which I don't know. Depends on who you believe, how many reshoots have gone into that, plus the legal trouble that, Ezra Miller has. And then you have a increasingly delayed all the way to next Christmas, 2023, Aquaman 2, which is
that's
going
the problem.
which is going to get more women in the seats because
I'll
of,
be there.
Momoa. Right.
Which already
But
tells me Flash is going to get pushed back again. But anyway, continue.
how far are they going to put? Yeah, okay.
No, Ezra's gone.
As far as it takes.
They're going to take Ezra out of the movie. They're reshooting it.
Okay.
Gee, who said that 2 months ago?
So the stumble, like I said, so is this not?
Here they are again, 2 months behind the news. Sorry, culture.
So do you agree that that's a problem in light of the fact that this is a film that you enjoyed very much? Obviously, I almost did it right, and Andre, and you're going to then have two very meager offerings in the next two films. Again, provided the Flash sticks in its spot. And why would you have pushed back Aquaman 2 all the way till Christmas next year?
Because it was crap.
Exactly, because culture. Right now, you are assuming that they are releasing the movies as they were, but we've been hearing nothing but delays and reshoots. And based on what I've seen in in Black Adam here, what I can tell that they did here, I can't tell that they did much reshoots other than the. Spoiler alert, but it's leaked everywhere. Post-credit scene with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can tell that they did in reshoots. But other than that, the only thing that I can tell from looking at this movie is that they have re-edited it. They have cut it with a chainsaw to cut any kind of message in it. And they have also cut it to emphasize the action. I think that there's action scenes in here right now which weren't in the originally planned cut. Mm-hmm. And I think that Aquaman 2 and certainly The Flash are going to get exactly the same treatment. This is what Zaslav said. He sees DC as a long-term investment. This is what's going to carry the company going forward. So he knows that for that to happen, then these movies, they can't outright suck. And the one that did outright suck and was going to be detrimental, that was Batgirl. So what happened to that? I don't know that Aquaman 2 is going to suck so bad by the time it's released. We don't know how extensive a job is done to it.
And I'm concerned with the marketing. And I'm sorry, Culture. I'm concerned with the marketing of anything else that comes through, because I just felt that the marketing job for Black Adam was just so substandard. Even the music that they chose for a lot of the trailers, which I don't even remember hearing in the movie. I don't know about you.
But I can answer that. The marketing was made under the previous administration. The marketing team, they were advertising not the movie that we got right now. They were advertising the movie as it was this summer. That's the movie they were advertising. But since summer, this movie has been changed, and the marketing campaign, I don't think it's that big a hit, reflective of the movie right now, because it's a different movie that was released. Yeah. Whereas with the Flash and Aquaman, I think that by the time marketing kicks into high gear, they're gonna know what movie they have and what they're marketing. And hopefully, we don't know what the marketing department is going to do, but hopefully, having seen, so this is what we're marketing.
Yes.
They're going to do it differently. Because remember, the cut that the marketer saw, and this is the way it always works. The marketers, they see a cut of the movie. They saw the cut that was made under the previous Ansarnov and Walter Hamad administration. That's the movie they saw and the movie they marketed. And that cut will never, ever be seen by anyone else ever again, because this is the Zaslav cut.
It was also stripped down because of the R rating. So I would suggest, based on people who had seen that they cut out a whole lot of very, very severe action.
But the movie was always going to be rated R, though. I mean, that's not. Let's keep this in mind. The movie was never ever going to be rated R. It could be that the filmmakers, on The Rock's insistence, he was like, "Hey, let's go all out, and we'll deal with it afterwards. Maybe we can release a director's cut down the line or something." but the release version was never going to be anything other than PG-13. So that's not something that was done. So I think it would have been better actually if they had gone all the way R, just to mark that this is a completely different direction. I think the only reason that they didn't do that is because it really screwed up the Suicide Squad.
Well, if they can get the marketing right, if they can get it, I'm sorry, if they can get the marketing right, because I didn't finish to answer your question, Culture. I'm sorry. If they can get the marketing right and continue in this tone, because at the end of the film, that post credit scene, I knew who was going to be in the post credit scene, but I didn't even care that Superman was going to be in that post credit scene. That's how much I liked this film, I wasn't expecting that.
I think that strategic leak that they kept trying to cover up, I'm going to say it was willful to get buzz going about the film, to get people to go see it, because a lot of people don't know who this character is, but that's beside the point. The film, like I said, if, as I posited, that we end up with these other two films well down the road that keep getting pushed back into infinitum, you have nothing to put behind this film. There's nothing coming up to support this beginning, because you've pushed all this other stuff farther down the road. And that's
but here's the thing, though. I don't mean to interrupt, but that'll be announced in December.
Okay.
And I don't
what's
think
coming next.
I don't think the strategy of Star Wars, for instance, of deluging the marketplace with crappy stuff was particularly successful. So I don't mind the staggered, maybe longer term releases. I know it's bad for DC's bottom line, but if each one of those movies can be a hit, and if Black Adam can actually join the top tier of DC, so you have Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Black Adam, that's an insane thing to do. Plus, in The Rock, Warner themselves have got an all-out, unabashed marketing juggernaut who isn't embarrassed about marketing. He will happily put Warner on his back and carry it, because he's just going to do that wrestler thing. I'm going to see you Saturday. You're going to die. I'm going to kill you.
Done for Top Gun pretty much, and for his entire career. And maybe that's what the franchise needs right now.
And the studio needs that. And Marvel has now got all these. Well, they've disappeared. All these franchise people have now disappeared. But even then, towards the end of their franchise, they were just running away like rats in a fire from Marvel, and not really wanting to promote the studio or anything. Right. Disney doesn't have anybody that's championing them as an actor, as a character, except for these wine women from She-Hulk and all the losers, talking from their cars, crying about how badly their star actress is being treated. That's the quality of superstardom that's carrying Disney now, crying actors in their cars.
And the unprofessionalism.
This is what's happened to Disney's palette of idiocy. So if DC can grab such an unabashed promoter like The Rock, that's an asset in of itself. That's my theory.
Well, and considering the fact that last evening he was in one of the theaters actually ahead of the film, promoting the film, talking to the audience members in Burbank. So, you're right. It's great to have a mouthpiece like that, but then it only goes so far. The film has to be satisfying to the audience, which it sounds like it is.
It is all about the product. You're not going to pull the wool over people's.
I'm very satisfied.
Well, I can tell. Believe me, I think everybody.
We are very glad to hear that.
Wow, yeah. Like I said, DC needs to package your component from this video and stick it in a YouTube ad.
So the next thing you have to look forward to with DC, and it was a direct parallel to this film. Black Adam and Shazam are essentially married as far as how many people knew about them going in, how many people were interested in what they were coming out with, et cetera, et cetera. You have Zachary Levi on one side, you got Rock on the other side. So we're looking right now as this film with its Thursday previews about 2 million ahead in the preview number for their Thursday to Thursday. So that's where that is in comparison to the original film. So it's doing, I mean, it is 2 million ahead. Black Adam is 2 million ahead of Shazam. Now, the next film you get, if the calendar doesn't change again, is going to be the next Shazam film in March. Then the next one we know for sure, because obviously Flash is up in the air, and so is Aquaman 2, which is in December. I don't know how far you're going to kick that count down the road. But anyway, then after that, you have Blue Beetle, right? Which is August set. So you have a summer opening for one of these films. The question is, what's it going to be? And if anything at all. I like I said, I don't have great faith that none of these things get kicked further down the road. And again, in order to build momentum, you have to have things come out, somewhat close to each other.
Yeah.
I don't think, in as much as I like the kid from Cobra Kai, I don't think he's going to be putting butts in the seats. I mean, to a certain extent, sure, but Blue Beetle's going to have to knock it out of the park, and it's going to have to get good word of mouth in order for people to jump all over that one.
Need to tell Paulie to get.
Yeah, that's going to be in August. Yeah, and Paulie's going to promote the hell out of it for sure. But before that, you have obviously Shazam. Is Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, or whatever it's called? Is that a good a film after Black Adam that's going to put butts in the seats or keep them there? Because that, again, it's all about momentum when it comes to these big franchises, right? And that we're talking, DC's been trying to build this universe for a decade. So that's my question is what do you have to follow up on this that's going to build on this momentum, if this actually has momentum? Because we still don't know. We'll see what the box office looks.
Is there going to be a The Batman 2?
We're not sure.
Yes, on
so.
paper.
In theory, yes.
On theory, yeah.
Or a completely different Batman.
Nina asks in the chat, how you doing, Nina? Who watched Black Adam, and was it good? Both Autumn and Andre have seen it, and they both recommend
Fantastic,
it.
Nina. Go and see it.
Yeah, go back 35, 40 minutes, and you will get a 15-minute breakdown of the film.
They've been talking about it for the last 45 minutes.
I wouldn't call it a breakdown. She was just very excited, and I was surprised she didn't pass out from not taking a breath.
Very, very effusive. Very effusive.
Well, I have a reaction like that to a film that does mean something. Be good. It's gotten me so excited, and I'm excited for everyone else's response to it, because it's good for everybody. This is what we need. It reinvigorates the franchise. It reinvigorates the economy. This has kind of like trickle down effects across the board. This is very, very good.
I mean, it's great to hear. It's so depressing to come out of Love and Thunder. And
well, you didn't feel the love or the thunder?
It was such a bad movie that it depresses you. How hard is it to make a superhero movie that at least doesn't depress you? As
I pointed out in my review, Black Adam shits all over both Marvel movies this year. And I didn't get to bring up the comment that I had put up on screen here, but someone pointed out that Chris Gore, who you will recall, we spoke with on Monday, and he was not looking forward to Black Adam, not in the slightest. Well, apparently he saw it and he liked it too. So something is definitely going on with the Black Panther reception here. And I submit again, for those that came in late, it's being unfairly maligned by the critics.
You said Black Panther.
Zaslaw is a threat to the whole ideo-political paradigm. Let's put it that way. Because this movie it's really diverse. It's really diverse. That's a leftover from the previous one. It's supposed to be as well, because it takes place in replacement Iraq. But this movie, there's nothing woke in it. Nothing at all. Anything woke has been removed in the editing. This is just sheer fun.
Yes,
and
there
very
are
dangerous.
Very masculine men doing masculine things. There's testosterone in the air. Ladies, you will not be disappointed in the men in this film, I assure you.
And you said Black Panther again, just to be clear, you meant Black Adam.
One last thing real quick. One last thing.
I think Yeah,
this
sorry
is an
about
effort
that.
to support what everybody is saying. Has actually talked me into seeing this film. I was not going to see it, so that's
two of us now.
Yeah,
I'm going to see it. I hope this is good. And you know what? I think secretly we want to see Disney get kicked in the pants.
Well, secretly.
Overtly.
So much. Yeah, it was Gurney Halleck was the one who pointed out Gore's reaction, and he called it super fun.
Yeah,
and yeah, I agree. It's right up there. It's like Black Adam. Who would have thought that would be one of the year's best movies alongside Top Gun? But where entertainment value is concerned, not anything else, not any quality measures, but where sheer entertainment is concerned, here we are. This is the year where DC kicked the snot out of Marvel with one movie. and of course, granted, we still have Black Panther, and I meant to say Black Panther this time, to come. But
you know something, Andre? This is the thing that I'm concerned about. And as I've mentioned to you, gentlemen, and everybody in the chat before, that I love to see men in superhero films, especially if it's about, we've seen so many strong, attractive men, these superheroes that we love. And the thing that disturbs me about Wakanda Forever is that I haven't seen those incredible Black men that we saw in the first film, at least not in the trailer. I mean, where else am I going to see strong, beautiful Black men? It's not as common as every single film. So in this film, we got it in Black Adam, but Wakanda Forever, which primarily is Black people, you would expect to see strong Black men. That's how I look at it. And I get it. They want to promote women, but I think that the men can be there as well. So I am concerned that I may not see all those beautiful Black men that I saw in the last film. I hope I'm not going to be disappointed. That's my number one concern with that film.
You're going to be disappointed. You should see the German version, Black Panzer. That's got way more men in it.
I don't know why Arrrr's having such a hard time finding sexy Black men online. There's literally hundreds of websites for that.
Screen.
I'm confused here. Oh, you mean in a movie?
But also, but I agree, and this is a point that I have made before. I have not seen Black Panther, and yes, I meant to say Black Panther, but I think that Black men in particular, if the movie is how it is promoted, where you're going to have Shuri take on the Black Panther mantle instead of some of the other big, strong, masculine men that are far more deserving of the title. We saw two of them in the previous Black Panther. If both of them get sidestepped in front of Shuri, to me, that's political messaging.
Did everybody here
political messaging
see the new trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
It is very Shuri heavy.
There you go. I think
well, it's actually a TV. I think it's a TV trailer, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a minute of basically boasting nothing but her. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that the black male audience is going to be too responsive to that. I very much doubt they're going to be like, "Yay, girl power!"
Black Adam is a multi-ethnic person. The Rock, he is Canadian also. Just want to point that out.
Yes.
I have very little love for Dwayne Johnson as a public figure. I'm talking about him personally, but I have very little love for him as a public figure. But even as that, I thought he was really good in this.
Another movie that was destined for failure was Jumanji, the first Dwayne Johnson black.
I don't know. They strategically put that up against The Last Jedi, and I think they had a feeling that.
I don't think anyone anticipated it being so popular.
Not in the end, as far as the popularity, but I think they knew they had a chance up against Star Wars, just because there was a bit of fall off after Force Awakens, and they knew this was going to be the second one. But I don't think they anticipated people hating on The Last Jedi as much as they did. And I think you're right. I don't think they ever anticipating it being like twice the hit the original Robin Williams one was.
And
Maybe
that was
not with
a full
inflation,
out,
but box office wise, technically.
that was a full out fun film where they weren't afraid to put a hunky guy in and a stunningly gorgeous curvy woman.
Yes, yes.
That weren't no
Pluses.
fear.
Mhm.
And that to me, I remember watching going, how did they get away with this? And that was one of the reasons that made it enjoyable.
Yes.
Apart
Well,
from
we'll
the
have
fact
to
that they were
see.
always all really good actors.
We'll have to see how the audience responds to it this weekend. I'm sure we'll discuss it on Monday, but we've got some super chats here we should probably get to on.